so far, no one said anything.
So you know what's really interesting about the MAGA hat? Because I know the people who wear MAGA hats are like, I can't believe, like what somebody says here, it's sad that wearing a hat is now a social experiment. But like the problem comes down to the trigger effect. Like Donald Trump is an abuser. He's an abuser. And there's no way you can deny that he is an abuser, because every time he speaks, he engages in name calling, fat pig, put downs, calling women sleaze bags or whatever, saying nasty shit, making fun of transgender people. He made fun of a reporter with a very distinct disability and, you know, saying the most horrendous thing about immigrants and migrants, making up lies about Haitian people and sexual abuse. He, of his own words, said he grabs him by the pussy. He doesn't even ask. He moves on her like a bitch, even though she's married. No regard. He's never had a regard for cheating and harming women, his wife, his kids' mothers. He has rubbed their faces in the dirt, had his mistress come along on the family vacation with the tabloids, like printing it, just shaming Ivana and just denigrating everyone around him. He's an abuser, harmful, sexual abuser, emotional abuser. No regard. Doesn't pay the people who work for him. Thousands of lawsuits, grinding down family businesses, cabinet makers that made the cabinets in his casino. These guys took huge contracts, made a casino. He never paid them. He ran them through court until they were bankrupt. Some of them lost businesses that had been in their families for generations. And then he bankrupted the casino and fucked all the investors and took all that money. And he's done this his whole life. And this hat is like a symbol of it. It's a symbol of it. But like the fact that they don't understand why it's a trigger, or maybe they do understand and they like that it triggers people. They do. But the fact that he is so nasty and so abusive that the mere reminder of him causes harm out there. And we have people that engage in that. And there's no way, like, even if you take away all the media narratives, just looking at Donald Trump's behavior, he's such an abusive, toxic human being. And for you to like revere his toxicity and his abusiveness, because what? You think that it's giving you more power over these liberal people that you can walk around and just harm them by showing up? That's so shitty. When at the end of the day, like, am I liberal? Yeah. But I want you to own a home. I want you to have money to be able to go to Disneyland, to be able to get Starbucks, to be able to have health care, to be able to go to work and make a decent fucking wage, bro. We don't want you to suffer. And we want all the other people that are below you to not suffer too. We want to lift all of them up. We want the marginalized people that fear for their lives going to the bathroom. We want to make them feel safe. And we want to take these wealth hoarders up above us and we want to make them get in and can help the rest of us. And for you to like demonize that, or for MAGA to demonize that and then be like, hey, we won, let's go see if we get a reaction. It's like, dude, that shit is crazy. And again, even here, I can't believe what this lady said. And he says, no one says anything, save your time. This guy is just fucking baiting it. This guy's just baiting the MAGA hat. Everything's bait with them because he's just trying to get you to watch the whole thing to algorithm his little fucking TikTok. But it's like, dude, this whole thing, MAGA, the whole thing is a fraud, bro. It's not based in real, genuine human values that value other humans. It's like layered in an onion of abusiveness and bullying and trying to cause harm in order to feel better about their existence or to feel like they're preventing anyone else from getting more than them. And it's so disempowering and it's so bad for humanity. And even if you don't see that, you will. Even if you're the staunchest MAGA person watching me now, you're maybe 20 years old and you think I'm full of shit. When you are 50, you're going to know. And I'll probably be long dead. But you will one day know, you will one day look back and you'll fucking know that what I'm saying is right about humanity. You will know. And even if you don't admit it, I know that you'll know. This is it, bro. If you want to look to all the red pill, blue pill, whatever you think, if you want to look at the number one problem that is hurting humanity right now, the elite, they sell the idea that if you work hard enough, you can be one too. And mostly you can't. And in fact, if you don't, they then try to say it's because you're not disciplined enough, you don't work hard enough, you're not smart enough, you're having too much Starbucks, et cetera, et cetera. But this is the number one issue with humanity, guys, right here. If a monkey hoarded more bananas than it could eat, while most of the other monkeys starved, scientists would study that monkey to figure out what the heck was wrong with it. When humans do it, we put them on the cover of Forbes. Dude, that's it. That's it. That is the problem with capitalism and the human condition, is we have people like Elon Musk, like Mr. Beast, like Jeff Bezos, 1,000 other billionaires that have more resources and money than they could ever fucking use. They could never consume that resources in their entire life. It's going to fuel generations of their family. And all around them, there are people that are working hard, that are suffering and starving and homeless. And what do? We don't care. Like no other animals do that. Animals, they just don't do that. But this quote right here says everything. When humans do it, we put them on the cover of Forbes. And you have guys who become billionaires and then they want $10 billion. And then they control $10 billion, they want 30. They go control 30, they want 300. They control 300, they want $1 trillion. And they have more resources and more power than they even know what to do with. And it leads to a toxic cocktail because they're just hoarding everything and still going out there and hoarding more while everybody else is literally starving. And many of the people that are starving and that will never have enough resources to survive are the ones generating the wealth that they're hoarding. And dude, we gotta fix this. We gotta stop being people that hoard more bananas than we can eat while we watch everyone else starve. That's the truth, bro. We do have a lot of issues in America, but here's what I do know. One of the things we know is that LGBTQ people are the sum total of 0% of our problem. None of society's ills or the world's problems are created by trans people or gay people. Not at all. That's not to say that there aren't issues with straight people, cisgender people, and trans people integrating comfortably with each other. There's a lot of misinformation. There's a lot of fear. They've been used, as political pawns my whole life. When I was a kid, it was gay people that were demonized. Now it's trans people because the gay people have gotten firmly ensconced with rights. But gay and trans people and non-binary people and pronouns and all that shit is exactly 0% of our issues as a society and humanity. They are not causing any of the greater issues of our real pain as a society. Neither are immigrants. That doesn't mean that we don't have immigration problems. We don't have a system that works well. And there are times when we get overloaded and people are fleeing bad conditions. And there's all kinds of problems to fix with immigration, of course. But the actual immigrants coming and looking for a better life are not at all any of our problems as a society here in America, or I believe even in the world. If you look at it, and having watched capitalism evolve over the 55 years of me being on this planet, I can say that one of the chief problems we have in the world, and especially here in the United States, is we exist in a system that requires everybody to participate. And if you don't, you're going to end up homeless and dead. So you're forced to participate in this system. And it's a pretty grueling system that prioritizes as much time as you sleep to refresh your body to be given to an employer in order to generate wealth that some people above you are going to take most of. And the number one problem, though, of our capitalist society is that there are hundreds of millions of hardworking people that show up and they give themselves to that system, getting ground to death, working or trying to have a family or doing the best that they can. And along the way, most of them don't get jack shit out of the system. Most of them don't even get decent health care and quality schools or help when something tragic happens. Most of them suffer, and they feel like they're never getting anywhere, and they feel like the entire world is stacked up against them. And then on the opposite side of the spectrum are a very small quantity of people that are walking around in $100,000 cars, $200,000 cars. Some of them have 30 cars. They're wearing $50,000 watches, and they're living in like multi-million-dollar homes. And those people are complaining about how the world's not safe, or they don't like the schools, or they don't like this, they don't like that. And yes, it's essentially like we have like a wage slavery. We have a wage slavery where most of the population is enslaved to be required to labor in order to survive. And the fruits of their labor, the wealth that is generated by those laborers, gets vacuumed up to the people in the upper class. And as time has gone on, that upper class is just continually generating wealth. And America started in 1600s. We've already had like 400 years of this. So the white people and the white Christian people in particular in America, descendants of Calvinism, they already have all the power. Dude, we have a system that the many generate all the wealth. They generate all the product. They consume all the goods, and they receive no benefit from it. And the few reap all of the profits, and then they're able to take those profits and they're able to put it into the stock market and the crypto market and the real estate market and the hedge funds and the investment firms. And they pool themselves together with other people that have the huge amounts of money, and then they can move markets and change the value of housing in parts of the country, and they just keep taking more and more wealth. And you'll have some people that are going to pay rent 1/3 or more of their income for their entire life, so they can never buy a home and they can never get ahead. And then another person may own 1,000 apartment buildings. So he's now, every month, he's taking 1/3 of the income from 20,000 people every single month until the day he dies. Till the day he fucking dies. This guy who owns 1,000 apartment buildings, he's taken 20,000 people's livelihood and vacuuming 1/3 of their wealth every single month, or half of their wealth for their entire life. And he's doing that. Why? Because he was born into a family that had enough money to be able to buy those 1,000 apartment buildings. Or he got lucky speculating on the stock market and made a whole bunch of money and bought 1,000 apartment buildings. But if we have no limits on the amount of wealth people can hoard, we're always going to be suffering. We are. That's just the facts of the matter. You know, that we can't solve the world's problems. We can't heal the world as long as we allow the wealthy people to just loot us. And we're looted, man. It is literally, it's like a wage slavery.
Large paper shredding company.
Oh, this guy, dude. Remember this guy? Dude, this is the guy who said Matt Gaetz didn't really commit any crimes. It was the deep state. Remember him? Dude, this guy is hilarious, bro. Oh, shit.
I wonder why a large paper shredding company is parked outside of the DOJ. That's weird.
Yeah, I wonder why offices have paper shredding companies. They shred documents. It's like, oh, okay. Everything with this guy is a conspiracy theory. I'm sure it happens once a month, maybe even once a week, because obviously something like the Department of Justice, they don't want people going through their fucking trash, bro. So they shred that shit. It's not like you and me. I throw shit out, but dude, sometimes I even cut shit into little bits. But like, bro, what are they going to do? They're going to throw all their documents just out in the trash cans on the street, dude. You know, Charlie Kirk and his fucking goons. Charlie Kirk and his goons would be in there like photographing everything, dude. They'd be jerking off on the papers.
President of the United States, he will
Again, though, what is she cheering about? She's got a nice sofa on a pristine rug, beautiful drapes. She's got a nice Mac laptop. That's like $2,000 right there. She's got a little bit of money. She doesn't look like she's suffering. What is she cheering about? Like, what did she get out of the deal that's benefiting her? You know, abortion crackdown, a bunch of billionaires that are going to go in and gut the government. If she's a student with this laptop, there's going to be no Department of Education if she gets discriminated against. Oh, wait, she's a white woman. She doesn't have to worry about being discriminated against. But if she did, there'd be nobody to protect her. If she gets raped and she's in Alabama, she may have to deliver that baby. Like, it's super confusing to me because other than knowing that the black woman didn't win, or, you know, maybe she's cheering the fact that now she knows transgender people are going to be targeted. But dude, I find this, forget about the content. I find the use of the YMCA song to be truly offensive because the Village People were at a time when gay artists couldn't be openly gay. And yet they were also showing us that we're all the fucking same because you had the redneckiest, most homophobic men alive singing along with tears in their eyes to Freddie Mercury and Judas Priest and shit, not knowing that those guys were gay. And the gay artists had to live in hiding, but we were all connecting with their music. And now the Republican Party has become the party of like maybe overturning gay rights, and they are attacked the shit out of trans people. And like the Village People and shit fought for LGBTQ people to even have rights. You have this trans woman, Sarah McBride, going to Congress. That shit started with the fucking Village People. And then the people that are trying to kill Sarah McBride and trying to turn the whole world against her are using the people who helped her have rights. They're using their music. It's like the biggest form of gaslighting. Their use of the Village People is like such insane high-level gaslighting. It's disgusting. So the Trump supporters are really interesting because obviously this is going around like Trump supporters are really upset that they're getting held responsible. They don't like that. They don't like the fact that they voted for concentration camps and they voted to harm, you know, a marginalized group like transgender people. And they voted for a man who sexually abuses women. So all the women who've been sexually abused are now traumatized by the president being a sexual abuser who then builds a cabinet filled with other sexual abusers. And then they're like, oh, when you tell them, well, you know what? We don't want you around at Thanksgiving. They're all of a sudden now they're butthurt. They're like, what do you mean? And it's like, when you think about it, I think if you voted for concentration camps, nobody should invite you to the party. You could even say, okay, we have an immigration problem. Okay, let's figure it out. Let's figure out how we get these people working, how we get them to be citizens, contributing members of society. Let's figure out the asylum system so it can't be gamed. Let's figure out a way to have, you know, people that commit crimes here, if they're immigrants, we figure out what to do with them, whether we deport them or how we manage that shit. Like, we can look at all that, but creating a militarized force to go in and try to root people out under the assumption that every undocumented person is a criminal and a danger, and we're going to herd them into camps like animals, like they did in Germany in the 1930s, and then ship them out. And then the whole time we're going to be like cheering for that, like we're at a modern form of lynching. That's disturbing. That's ugly. That's like the worst aspects of human existence. You look at a place like Canada. Canada has nice healthcare. Say I just cross the border to Canada and go there and try to become a Canadian citizen. I really want healthcare. I really want to learn French. I really want to be a part of Canada because I'm sick of the Christian Taliban forming here in America. I want to go somewhere up there, right? If Canada was going to herd me up and cuff me and put me in a concentration camp because I wanted to be there, dude, that would not be the play. Herding people up and humiliating them and punishing them for wanting a better life is not ever the play. That's the worst aspects of humanity. And voting for that, you hearing someone saying, that's what we're going to do. We're going to round them up in camps and ship them out. And if you hear that type of humiliation and degradation and that feels like good to you, you got to fucking check yourself. There's really something wrong with you. You have some trauma in you that is not helping the world, bro. And if you're experiencing that trauma while you're simultaneously wearing a $20,000 watch or living in a fucking $2 million home, now you're really traumatic because now you have it all and you're looking down on people who are willing to do the shittiest jobs out there. They're the ones deboning your chicken and picking your fruit and cleaning the in stalls in the public bathrooms that you're busy trying to beat transgender people out of. And you're sitting there judging them and telling them they don't deserve a chance at a better life because you believe they're the reason why you can't have two $20,000 watches or two $2 million homes. Like, bro, like the people with money in America are kind of getting fucking disgusting at this point, bro. It's like, too much is never enough, man. Dude, I think we may get to the point of where large mobs of people may have to start going to the wealthy and just taking their fucking resources, right? We may have to, have 100,000 people circle wherever Elon Musk is hiding out and go in there and just take all his shit. If like he's going to take the whole goddamn world. It's like, no, you're not going to go to Mars and trick us into coming there so you can enslave us there and extract all the resources there. F you. We're going to fucking take all your shit and we're going to go build some homes for the homeless.